10 hidden habits that weaken the mind and how Buddhist wisdom can help overcome them. Introduction. In life, there's an invisible force, more important than talent, more enduring than skill, the strength of your mind. It's not loud. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, urging you to rise one more time when everything inside you wants to quit. This mental strength, this quiet resilience, is the foundation of true success, deep peace, and meaningful purpose. But here's the truth. Just as we can cultivate a strong mind, we can unknowingly weaken it. And most of the time, it happens not through grand failures, but through small, daily habits. Habits so subtle that we barely notice their impact until we feel lost, anxious, reactive, or powerless. In this video, we're going to explore 10 of these hidden habits, the quiet thieves of mental resilience. And more importantly, we'll look at how ancient Buddhist wisdom can guide us back to clarity, power, and peace. These teachings aren't abstract theories, they are practical tools. Tools that, when used with awareness, can transform the way we meet suffering, uncertainty, and inner chaos. Let's begin the journey inward. Habit 1. A negative mindset. A negative mindset is like a slow-rolling fog at dawn. It arrives silently in the form of self-doubt, cynicism, or quiet despair. At first, you barely notice it, but soon the fog thickens. It covers everything: the beauty of the world, the kindness of others, your own potential. You start to see life through a distorted lens. Challenges become curses, people become threats. You assume the worst and miss the best. Over time, your mind becomes a prison, and the key, tragically, lies within. Buddhism offers a profound antidote to this fog: mindfulness, the practice of observing your thoughts without becoming them. Imagine standing at the edge of a river, watching thoughts float by like leaves on the water. You don't chase them, you don't judge them, you just see them. That moment of awareness creates space, and in that space, healing begins. Another Buddhist gem is Metta, the meditation of loving kindness. You start by sending warmth to yourself, then to someone you love, then to a stranger, even to someone who hurt you. This practice softens the soil of chronic negativity and plants seeds of compassion. Over time, this grows into a garden of inner peace. And then there's Anicca, the teaching of impermanence. Every feeling, no matter how dark, is temporary. Every thought is a cloud. Let it pass. The sun, your true nature, is still there, waiting to shine through. When you embrace mindfulness, loving kindness, and impermanence, you don't just fight negativity, you dissolve it. You clear the fog. And once more, you see the sky. Habit 2. Complaining about things outside your control. Complaining is like gripping a burning coal, convinced it will warm you, but all it does is scorch your peace. When we complain about traffic, weather, or someone else's actions, we feed a mindset of helplessness. We focus on what we can't change, and in doing so, we abandon what we can. Complaining doesn't fix the problem. It simply reinforces the belief that we are victims of our circumstances. Buddhism teaches us the art of acceptance, not as surrender, but as wisdom. True acceptance says, "This is the reality of this moment. I will not waste energy fighting what I cannot change." That shift frees up energy that can be used to act, to grow, to respond wisely. There's also the teaching of impermanence again. Nothing lasts. Not the rain, not the traffic, not this difficult moment. Complaining makes us forget that change is always unfolding. And then comes letting go. Not in weakness, but in strength. Letting go is releasing the tight grip of control and opening the hand to peace. It's choosing calm over chaos, stillness over struggle. Ask yourself this: is my complaint helping? If not, What can you learn? What can you do? That shift from resistance to reflection is the beginning of inner mastery. Habit 3. Not expressing yourself. Imagine a beautiful song that's never sung, a story never told, a flame hidden under a basket. That's what happens when you silence your voice, you bury your truth. When we don't express our thoughts or emotions, we disconnect from others and from ourselves. Feelings become pressure, thoughts become tension, and eventually, what's unspoken becomes unbearable. Buddhism invites us to practice right speech, a pillar of the Noble Eightfold Path. This isn't just about telling the truth. It's about speaking with kindness, clarity, and intention. Words can wound or heal. They can build bridges or burn them down. Self-expression isn't always verbal. Sometimes it's acknowledging a feeling, naming an emotion, giving yourself permission to feel without judgment. Mindfulness helps here by teaching us to sit with our emotions like a compassionate friend. Unexpressed emotion doesn't disappear. It hides and resurfaces as anxiety, stress, or even illness. But when you express with awareness and heart, you create space for healing. You invite others to see you. You allow yourself to breathe. Speak your truth. Write it. Sing it. Whisper it. Whatever form it takes, expression is liberation. And a free mind is a strong mind. Habit 4. Blaming others for your problems. Blaming is a seductive escape. It tells you, it's not your fault. It offers comfort, but at a high price. Because every time you blame, you hand away your power. You become a passenger in your own life, drifting while others steer. But here's the truth. Your life is your responsibility. You may not have caused every storm, but you are still the captain. Buddhism teaches karma, the law of cause and effect, not as punishment, but as a reminder. Your choices shape your path. When you blame, you give up that truth. But when you take responsibility even for your response, you reclaim your agency. This doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means recognizing your power to choose, to grow, to act. Forgiveness is part of this. Forgiving others doesn't say what happened was okay. It says you're done carrying the burden. Forgiveness is freedom, and freedom is strength. When you stop blaming and start owning, you begin to build a mind that bends but does not break. Habit 5. Fantasizing instead of visualizing. There's a difference between dreaming and escaping. Fantasizing is seductive. It offers you a life without effort, but it's a mirage, beautiful, unreachable, and hollow. Visualization, on the other hand, is active. It's dreaming with direction. It's creating a vision and walking toward it, step by step. Buddhism encourages right intention and right effort. These principles guide us not just to imagine a better life, but to create it, to align our thoughts with action, our dreams with discipline. Fantasy keeps you stuck in the mind. Visualization moves you into the world. It creates momentum, purpose, and resilience. Let go of perfect dreams. Embrace imperfect steps. That's where strength grows. Habit 6. Not making time for personal relationships. In our quest for productivity and independence, we often neglect the soul's deepest need: connection. Relationships are not distractions. They are mirrors. They reflect our growth, our wounds, our capacity to love. Buddhism teaches interdependence, the truth that we are all connected. No one exists in isolation. Even monks, who retreat from society, do so within a community of practice. Make time to truly be with others, not just physically, but emotionally. Listen deeply. Speak honestly. Laugh fully. Hold space. Every relationship is touched by impermanence. So don't wait. Don't postpone love. Don't assume there will be time later. A resilient mind is nourished by connection. And love, freely given and received, is the greatest strength of all. Habit 7. Multitasking. Multitasking is glorified chaos. It makes us feel efficient while it quietly scatters our attention and drains our peace. The mind wasn't meant to fragment. Every time we switch between tasks, we lose depth. We trade presence for performance. Buddhism teaches one-pointed concentration to bring the whole mind to the moment. Whether you are sweeping the floor or writing a poem, let that be your meditation. Do one thing, and do it fully. That simplicity is power. That focus is clarity. That depth is where genius lives. Habit 8. Complaining without action. There's a difference between venting and stagnating. Venting releases. Chronic complaining corrodes. When we complain without acting, we reinforce a story. I can't. I'm stuck. I'm helpless. Buddhism invites us to observe this pattern, to see our words as seeds. What are you planting? Instead of saying, this is wrong, ask, what can I do? Even one small step is powerful. You are not a victim of your life. You are the artist. Speak with awareness. Act with courage. That's how the mind becomes unshakable. Habit 9. Overconsumption. Media, food, entertainment. We live in an age of too much noise, too much food, too much content. When we consume without consciousness, we numb, we distract, we disconnect. Buddhism teaches sense restraint not as repression, but as discernment. What nourishes you, what depletes you. Create space. Choose stillness. Let silence be your teacher. Let simplicity be your strength. In less, you will find more. In emptiness, you will find clarity. Habit 10. Avoiding discomfort. We are trained to avoid pain, but in doing so, we avoid growth. Every transformation lives on the other side of discomfort. Every awakening begins in the dark. Buddhism teaches us to sit with suffering, to breathe with fear, to hold space for sadness, not to wallow but to understand. Pain is not punishment, it is a teacher. And when you stop running, you start learning. Stay, breathe, open. This is how warriors are made. Conclusion. These 10 habits may seem small, but over time, they shape the landscape of your mind. They become the stories you believe, the patterns you repeat, the prison or the path. Replace them, not with force, but with awareness, not with guilt, but with compassion. And as you do, you will feel a quiet strength rising, a mind that no longer scatters, a heart that no longer hides, a spirit that no longer fears, a mind that is calm, a mind that is clear, a mind that is free. This is the way of the strong. This is the path of awakening. This is your journey back to your truest self. Thank you for walking it with me.